Hi, I'm going to work out quiz 3. I need you to, watch this and figure out what you did wrong. Number 1 says to simplify the algebraic expression. When you see something like this, it wants you to use the distributive property. You're going to distribute -4, which means you are multiplying both of these terms by -4. So we have -4 times positive 3x. A negative times a positive is a negative. So that's a -12x. Then you're multiplying or distributing -4 times -5. A negative times a negative is a positive. Many of you still do not have these rules memorized and you missed your signs on almost every single problem. I suggest that you write the rules several times. I wrote them on the board for you to copy down. They're in your book. Write them down several times, have them memorized, so that on the next test, you'll be able to use them correctly. Number 2 is just multiplying -6 times 15. Again, if it's multiplication and the signs are different, the answer is always negative. Number 3, simplify. And we're going to simplify by combining like terms. And if you know how to add and subtract integers, add and subtract sign numbers, that's all we're doing here. We have 4y squared and -6y squared. Those are like terms. Like terms have to have the same exact variable to the same exact power. And once you have that, these are considered like terms. This is a positive and a negative. You are combining or adding and subtracting, and the signs are different. What's the rule? Take the difference, so you subtract, and take the sign of the largest. Here, signs are different, so you subtract and take the sign of the largest. Remember, when you're combining like terms, this is like, 4 yaks and 7 yaks, you still have 3 yaks. This doesn't change at all. Your variable doesn't. Okay, number 4, we are just performing some multiplication and division. And even down here on the bottom, we're going to do some adding and subtracting. So on top, we have negative times a positive. Answer's always negative. Positive times a positive. Down on the bottom, if you see these negatives together, that is a positive. So you have a -5 plus 1. Signs are different. Subtract and take the sign of the largest. And this will be a positive 28. Signs are different, so you subtract and put the sign of the largest. I can say this 100 times, but unless you memorize these rules, you're not going to go far in algebra. So you've got to take time to memorize the rules. If you're multiplying and dividing and your signs are different, your answer is always negative. If you're adding and subtracting and your signs are different, you subtract every single time, take the sign of the largest. Number 5, this one you decide whether the statement is associative, commutative, distributive, distributive, identity, or inverse. This was just like your review sheet. In fact, this whole test was just like the review sheet. So I was surprised that some of you, didn't do as well as you should have. If you didn't understand the review sheet or didn't get them right, you should have gotten help before the test. But anyway, this is commutative. The numbers have changed places. That's how you know if it's commutative or not. Number 6, find the quotient. This is just a matter of dividing. You can divide or reduce both of these by 10 to start with, and you get -18 over -6. When you're multiplying or dividing and your signs are the same, your answer is always positive. The signs are the same, the answer is always positive. Number 7, we are evaluating an expression by plugging in values. -2, and I just went ahead and plugged in the values. Here's the problem. Hopefully you're looking at your test. Here's the problem. This was the expression, and I just plugged these values in for x, for y, and for p. Now we have to work this out. Positive times a negative. Signs are different. The answer's always negative. Signs are the same, and you're multiplying. The answer's always positive. Signs are different. Your answer's negative. To combine these two together, this would be a -9. Signs are different, so you subtract and take the sign of the largest. And -16 times -9. You're multiplying. Signs are the same, so your answer is positive. Number 8. It says to use the distributive property. Worked one of these in class right before the test. You're distributing -1/9. So -1/9 is getting multiplied by 54y, and -1/9 is being multiplied by 8. Just cross out before you work it. Signs are different, so your answer's negative. Signs are different, so your answer's negative. And that's your answer, -6y minus 8/9. Nothing crosses out here, so you just multiply straight across. That's number 8. Number 9. We are multiplying fractions on number 9. Nothing will cross out. There's no common factors. You just use the rules of multiplication. Signs are the same, so your answer is positive, and that's your answer. Number 10. So number 10, you have to distribute here. First thing, distributing is the same as multiplying. So we can't subtract or add or anything else until we've distributed. So a negative times a positive is a negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. You can only combine like terms, which is the 2x and the 4x. They're both positive. Signs are the same, so you add and keep the sign. Number 11. Number 11 is very similar. Whoops. 4, 3y minus 10 plus 3. It's 2 distributing that you have to do. You have to distribute the -4 to the +3. Signs are different. Your answer's negative. Then the -4 times the -10. Signs are the same. Your answer's always positive. Positive times a positive is a positive. Signs are the same. Your answer's positive. So we distributed first, and now we're going to combine like terms. These are like terms, so we're going to combine them. Their signs are different. The rule says to subtract and keep the sign of the largest. These signs are the same, so you will add and keep the sign. This pretty much whole test was, did you know your signs? Do you know your rules? And I believe that if you did poorly on it, and when I say poorly, that's probably about less than an 80, you really, really need to memorize those rules. Okay, on number 12, we're going to write an expression, the product of -3 and 3, so we multiply those together, added to 6. So we take 6 and we add the product of 3 and -3. So this is your expression, and then I said to work it out. These signs are different, so your answer is negative. Okay, now we're adding. Signs are different, so we subtract and put the sign of the largest. 13. What property is being used? Nothing changed places. We've got 2, 5, and 8 2, 5, and 8. So it's not commutative. It's associative. On this side, the 2 and 5 are associated together, and on this side, the 5 and 8 are associated. So 13 is the associative property. Sorry, I'm filming and holding the camera at the same time. Number 14, find the quotient. So we have negative 3/8 divided by negative 1/4. Okay, to divide fractions, you flip the second one. We worked one of these in class too. Flip the second one and multiply. You can cross out first. Divide both of these by 4. Then you multiply straight across. Signs are the same. Your answer's positive. And that is your answer. So maybe you put 1.5. That's fine. You can just leave it that way. Now number 15. This was right off the review sheet. So I really am surprised y'all missed this. 0 divided by negative 8 is 0. 0 divided by any number is 0. Except you can't have a 0 down here, of course. Now when there is a 0 in the bottom, that's undefined. There is no way to divide by 0. Okay? Study this. Make sure you understand what you missed. Write your rules down. On the next quiz, that's going to be one of the questions on the quiz. It's just to write those rules down, those 4 rules. Okay, hope this helps.